Greetings, my fellow companions, and welcome to the Fink's Georgia Kitchen. This evening I want to demonstrate to you how to make a staple of our confectionery repertoire, Almond Roca Toffee. Now, I've already started with a few of the things that we're doing, but two of the major steps before we actually start cooking the toffee component are toasting the almonds and unwrapping the Hershey Bars. So tonight I'm making a double recipe, so I toasted 2 pans of almonds. Each pan should have about 3/4 of the surface covered with almonds, toasted to a light golden brown on low broil in the oven. Also, before we start making the toffee, we should go ahead and pre-unwrap and break into pieces the Hershey Bars. Each recipe's worth calls for 5 Hershey Bars. Alright, so now all the Hershey Bars are opened and broken into their pieces, laid next to the almond pans, ready to place on top once we pour the toffee. It's very important to apply it quickly because if you put it on too late after you pour the toffee, it doesn't stick to the toffee and it all just breaks into pieces when you split it up. So over here on the stove, I'm beginning the toffee process. This is an unusual recipe in that it doesn't work for whatever reason if you try and make a double recipe at the same time. So I have 2 separate pans, and for 1 recipe's worth, it takes 1 cup of butter minus 2 tablespoons. So I've got 1 stick here and my 2nd stick, and I'll just go ahead and cut off 2 tablespoons, one-handed, maybe not. 1 second. Alright, so there's our 1 cup minus 2 tablespoons of butter in the pan. We also need 1 cup of sugar and half a teaspoon of salt. Alright, so now I'm going to melt all of these together in a saucepan, and I'm going to do it one at a time because you have to stir the entire thing all the time once it begins to melt. Alright, so this is a very important stage in the toffee making process. The butter, sugar, and salt has to be stirred constantly over an even heat or else it will separate. So at this point I'm going to keep stirring this until it turns the color of peanut butter. So I have a peanut butter jar on hand to compare it to. This is a great time to have a book and a cup of tea also. Alright, so this is getting to the fun part now. It's getting all foamy and bubbly and it smells absolutely amazing. But it's still got probably about 2 minutes before it's peanut butter colored. Alright, the toffee is the color of peanut butter now, so I'm going to very quickly carry it over to the pan of almonds and pour it over. The trick is to get this done really quickly and then get the chocolate on top so that it can bond to the toffee while it's hot. Okay, so all the chocolate has been applied now and most of it is pretty melted. There are a few spots still that aren't quite melted, like right there. But this is another really fun part of the thing. So you can see how where it has melted, it still has the Hershey's insignia in it. And you can come in and just wipe it all out. So I'm going to go in now and just smooth all the chocolate over the toffee. And at this part I'm not trying to be pretty with patterns or anything, I'm just trying to get it all covered over while the toffee is still hot so it'll stick to the toffee. Because if it doesn't stick, it's just a really miserable batch of toffee. Alright, so now that I've got it spread over, I can come back in and make fun designs in the chocolate. It's still a little melty for most of them though. So I'll probably start as it is right now and then come back in and do it again. And one thing I haven't tried before but I thought of while I was doing this was it would be possible to do this with dark chocolate and then to sprinkle sea salt granules on top of the chocolate while it was still melted, and then you would get some really good sea salt and dark chocolate toffee. So I'm just trying to lightly catch some of the chocolate with the knife blade, which is also very important to use a butter knife blade that doesn't have any grooves in it, because that will leave nasty impressions on your toffee and it just doesn't look nice. So this is a little more haphazard than I usually do, but There is what it looks like. So now we'll let it cool for a bit, and then it will go in the fridge to cool for several hours to overnight, and then tomorrow I'm going to break it up into pieces, and it can go into baggies or tins to give as gifts. So that is how you make almond Roca toffee, Fink style.